German prosecutors say the suspect in a knife attack at the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin is a 19-year-old refugee from Syria. Authorities say he told police he was planning to kill Jews. The suspected assailant was arrested near the scene with blood on his hands. He allegedly seriously injured a Spanish tourist in the attack on Friday evening. The victim had emergency surgery and is stable in hospital. Let's go to DW reporter Aaron Tilton, who is in the center of Berlin. Hello, Aaron. What more do we know about the alleged perpetrator and his motive for the attack?
Well, so far, according to police statements, the attacker was a 19-year-old Syrian national who came to Germany in 2023 as an unaccompanied minor. Now, he was granted asylum and refugee status after his arrival here and was legally in the country because of how he was treated by the Assad government back in Syria. Now, the police say that he attacked the Spanish tourist yesterday at around 6 o'clock and then disappeared from the scene. He later then reappeared at Berlin's Holocaust Memorial, covered in blood, and approached police, at what time he was arrested. Now, at the time of his arrest, he was found to have had a Quran, a prayer carpet, and a weapon on his body. And according to statements he made to police, he was motivated by the current conflict in Gaza and in Israel to carry out this attack. Now, he chose the Holocaust Memorial because, according to police, in his own words, he was attempting to kill as many Jews as possible. But at the same time, police also say that it might not just be an Islamic motivation behind this attack. They also say his behavior at the time of his arrest was quite strange, as they put it. They said the word they used to describe him was apathetic, which is why they're also looking into possible mental health reasons behind his carrying out yesterday's attack.
Interesting. So what about the victim and how is he doing?
Well, so far what we know about the victim is that it was a 30-year-old Spanish man who had no relation to yesterday's suspected attacker. He was a tourist here in Berlin. He had visited the Holocaust Memorial and was actually inside the memorial's columns when he was attacked by this Syrian refugee. Now, he was stabbed apparently multiple times in the throat. They were life-threatening injuries. He was transported to a local hospital where he unfortunately had to be put in an artificial coma, and thankfully doctors were able to save his life with an operation. Now, he's said to be out of the most serious condition. They do expect him to survive, but he is still in a local Berlin hospital and still receiving treatment.
DW reporter Aaron Tilton, thank you.
Thank you.
Germans vote in elections tomorrow. So let's bring in our chief political editor, Michaela Kufner, who is at the final rally of the conservative CDU and CSU parties. Hello, Michaela. Have we had any reaction from the Conservatives about the stabbing incident on Friday?
Well, we haven't had an official reaction except, of course, the shock that such an atrocious attack could happen right at the heart of Berlin. The news that there's a suspected motivation of anti-Semitism behind this is only just spreading. It's being hotly debated here. I've spoken to people who've basically said this goes against what Germany stands for, particularly, of course, that core policy commitment, the Staatsräson, that Germany stands in to protect Jewish life. So this is something that comes as at the final moment of this campaign, and many here feel that the only mistakes can be made by making any kind of big statements on what is still a situation where this attack is being investigated.
Okay. The Conservatives are currently leading in the polls. How are they winning over their supporters?
Well, clearly the Conservative CDU, CSU, they're all already in a mood. They know they are likely to take over and come in as the strongest party, polling at just below 30% right now. The runner-up will most likely be the far-right AfD party. That creates some problems in itself, with that firewall, of course, standing firm, and there being a continuous commitment not to work with the far-right AfD. And the big question that's being hotly debated here is whether those small parties will make it into parliament, whether there will be a coalition, one coalition partner needed or two to form a stable government. But everybody here knows Donald Trump has changed the world, he's changed European security, and whatever happens after Election Day will have to happen very fast.
Right. So is it fair to say that Merz will be Germany's next chancellor?
Look, some 63 million voters still have to decide that. Many votes have already been cast. We know that just under a third of voters still haven't decided where they will make their mark, which party they will go with. But if the polling is anything to go by, and the polling has been very static, despite much turbulence over the recent weeks, yes, Friedrich Merz is the key contender to take over. He's the head of the CDU-CSU, formerly known as Angela Merkel's party, but he, of course, has shifted the party a bit to the right, more into the conservative camp. He belonged to the camp that always criticized Angela Merkel for being too centrist or too far left, as many here put it. And he is very much behaving in that way. Just yesterday, he made clear that he feels Europe needs to send a very strong signal and needs to speak to those nuclear powers, France within the EU and Britain outside, to talk about how nuclear protection for Europe can look in the future if the Americans continuously drop out of the picture, as they seem to do under Donald Trump.
Right. Chief Political Editor Michaela Kufner, thank you.